Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we take a look at the current energies and we go as guided. And it's about connecting with the divine, with your soul source connection, and that's ever apparent to me. So big week again, big energies. Boy, are we closing out the year and really beginning the year, let's put it that way, beginning the year with mega energies. Welcome, Olivia. As you're joining from around the globe, please put in the comments, just say hello, where you're joining from. And remember that we take your comments and your questions and we incorporate them throughout the broadcast. So let's take a look. We are building on last week's energies. And last week was all about this divine patience and grace, a higher calling at hand. And there's a real and Proud Mary, that Proud Mary moment, dead reckoning, all of these things about how we navigate from a higher place. Welcome, Alicia. And so there's this beauty in this week. I'm going to put my specs on here. Welcome, Ava. And I'm going to bring in the main theme, and then we're going to dive deeper, and you're going to understand why. And this is a very interesting symbol. Brigitte, welcome. So our main theme is adventure awaits, ... Christmas anyone? ? And notice, for all of you in the Northern Hemisphere, the image is of these beautiful blooming pink peonies. And so, of course, it's kind of like spring, summer. The image is of spring, summer, the fullness, the blooming. And that is really because the whole message is about rebirth, renewal, flowering. And yet there's going to be, the energies are very much, so anyone in the Southern Hemisphere, it is now spring turning into summer, and Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere, the literal December 25th holiday, takes place in their summer. In the Northern Hemisphere, of course, it is our winter. And so you can see and understand this juxtaposition of energies and messaging that's going on. For those in the Southern Hemisphere, this may seem quite normal. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, it's anything but. It's the antithesis of it. And that really is the point, is that Christmas anyone, and Christmas, let me just, again, I'm putting on my specs here, because there was this whole point about adventure awaits, Christmas anyone. The message isn't about the holiday, the one that we celebrate. The message is about the rebirth, the renewal, the celebration of the birth of Master Jesus, Christ, meaning the newness, our renewal, and thereby, and the flowering that comes from it. And so our focus isn't, if you will, on the what Christmas stands for in that sense, from a religious perspective, a Christian perspective, and so forth. It is about the rebirth, the renewal, the deliverance of something. And of course, that something is us, our divine selves, and how that will flower. And before we jump into the rest of it, I just want to, it came to me this morning as I was chit-chatting with my mother at breakfast, and there was this point about, because the message is about flowering, opening up. You'll see throughout this broadcast today the color pink. And pink is about harmony and peace and spirit and so forth. It has a lot of beautiful spiritual connotations. But the point was, when we are in judgment, we deny ourselves our own flowering, because everything is divine and neutral. So the minute we sit in judgment of something, we've cut ourselves off. We have instantly blocked ourselves from receiving what we are meant to divinely receive. And that flowering that takes place, because as anyone knows that walks the way, the journey, we know what we know until we know. And what that means is we can have an understanding, a perception, a past experience. We can have all of these things that quote unquote color our journey. And yet the minute we leave space, we empty our vessel, we open up to, we stay out of judgment, that coloring, that flowering continues to unfold as we walk the journey, as we walk the way. And so there's a really big message here, and you're going to see this with the SABIAN symbols. We are also, again, the final eclipse in Taurus coming up this Saturday, the 28th. The full moon lunar eclipse. It's a partial lunar eclipse. But it finishes a 19-year cycle in Taurus, the Taurus-Scorpio axis. So we're going to see this messaging. So let's just jump in. Let's jump in. You're going to see this messaging about the letting go, the coming to be real. Coming to be real, meaning to experience fact, not fiction. To experience what it means to be the new. And it's, you already have it. It's there. It is a part of you. It is not outside of you. It is always an inside job. And all that is required is that we let it unfold, flower. We flower with it. So, and as I'm going to put this up at the top, our mantra, I'm going to bring in our mantra really quickly. Our mantra is unity. I am one with Source. So in essence, I walk the talk. I think the thought. I am. I am one with Source. It is a unity consciousness. The age of Aquarius, the new, is all about unity, not community. Community can denote division, separation, hierarchy. With unity, and yet you see how unity is part of community. Unity denotes oneness, wholeness, no division, no separation. We are all one, and so it's a unity consciousness. It is a unity progression, forward progression, and really forward progression meaning a return to, a realization that we are returning to. It's always been there. However, it's now becomes the main theme. And so as we jump in, let's take a look at our current energies, our main energies. So we have, and notice, the reason this theme came about Adventure Awaits Christmas, anyone? The minute I knew from last week that this Wednesday was the 25th, it was like instantly it said Christmas, and it like you light up. It's joy, it's gifts, presents, abundance. It has a very joyous connotation to it. And so this 25, so we look and we see that 10 all month long, it's a 10 month. So this treading, this cautious advance, we are cautiously advancing as the old releases and falls away, the new is commencing and coming up. The 25th today is about innocence, and it's to open, to flower, to open. 7, it's 2023 is a 7 year, so we've got all the correct discipline, we have everything we need. We have the 15 because the 15 is, when you add all the numbers together, it's a 15. 15 is about humility and authenticity. It is to be your authentic, true self. That has always been the truth. However, it becomes the truth really predominantly. You remember, the ideal becomes the new reality. Well, the authenticity of things, the humility of things, because it is the divine feminine. The divine feminine represents humility, grace, this receptive knowing. Going as guiding. They often refer to this as the gentle mare, because the mare, the female horse, the mare, knows how to be guided. She's very in tune with spirit, source, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, the whole shebang. And so this is about that humility and authenticity and what's required, that Libran element, justice, balance, harmony. There's the pink. And then it culminates, the 1 and 5 culminate in a 6, which is, it can be about conflict. And again, the messaging is very clear as we end this year and we begin, and I really want to say, as we begin this year, where we're headed, where we're going, it will be about, are you in conflict or are you in destiny? Are you in flow? Are you swimming upriver or are you flowing with the current? And this message about let go. Let's just move to the astrological influences. You're going to see how all of this is coming together. So they're talking about, there's 1014, the new moon solar eclipse that occurred on the 14th, and how it was conjunct the south node in Libra. There's that Libran energy we were just speaking about. Then 2 days ago, the sun enters Scorpio. It is about, and Scorpio represents both the eagle and the Scorpio. So the highest and the lower octaves. A bird's eye view. The eagle is the closest to source. And so this overview. And then on Saturday, on 10/28, we have the full moon lunar eclipse conjunct the north node, 5 degrees Taurus. Now, a lot of that is to say, it's just setting the stage. It's to have an understanding and awareness that adventure awaits. Christmas, anyone? This rebirth, renewal, and flowering. This gift of presence. Gifts, presence, present moment. This opportunity to unfold. Because it's no longer about who we've been. That's been there, done that. It's over. It's who are we now? And so you want to keep asking yourself every day as you're moving forward, as you're beginning this year. That is coming through very strongly from the unseen. It's not about the ending. It's about the beginning. The ending, both coexist, right? And it's going to be what it's going to be. However, we do play our role. So in essence, don't focus on the past. Don't focus on what is going to take its natural course. And you're going to see this in the hexagram symbol. It's hexagram 53 that we're working with today. Development, flowering. The focus is on the present moment, on the gifts, on the unfolding, on the flowering. That is where they want our focus, the unseen does. Because they said the flowering, the first thing they said was the word flowering, the flowering in quotes. So the flowering beyond comprehension. That means we are going to expand in ways we never knew possible. We may have dreamt about them. We may have a knowing about them. and yet somehow they were evasive, or they've eluded us, or they were quote unquote outside of us. And yet the unseen's message for us is the flowering beyond comprehension. And there's the attainment of an optimum stage of development. So there is this message, this point, that the flowering beyond comprehension is the attainment of an optimum stage of development. And what they're showing me in the moment is, again, we've had this before, it's where the Devil card and the Lover's card, they're the same two humans, the divine masculine, divine feminine, in those two cards. And they then are unshackled, unburdened, lifted up. And it's imagine, again, head lifted up and back, sun radiating down on your face, and the joy and the expansion and the nourishment and the peace of that. That's what they're showing me in this moment. So I'm going to bring up, and let me know how this is resonating, because these energies, I mean, and I'm laughing, I'm doing everything twice. I don't know about all of you, but I mean, not everything. However, I will do something only to see that I've already done it when I'm doing it a second time. And I keep going, wow, okay. But the doubles, these double actions that are happening. So as if you're experiencing yourself twice. It's like you've done it, but you completely forget that you've done it, and then you do it again. Some could, they're joking. Some could be that but I'm not going to make a joke about that. So anyways, moving forward, let's look at this astrological chart. It is for this Saturday's lunar eclipse. This is from cafeastrology.com. And you can see that the moon is kind of down on your left. And it's conjunct Jupiter. And then if you go directly opposite on the kind of upper right, you will see the sun, Mercury, and Mars. So the sun, Mercury, and Mars are together, and the moon and Jupiter are together, and the north node are together. Now, when I saw this image of the chart, and I'm looking at the center, you see the red rectangle with the crisscross, the X marks the spot, and kind of a peaking canopy at the top of the red. And the red tip is pointing to Pluto in Capricorn. And remember, Pluto is finishing up business before officially moving into Aquarius. So there's all this tidying up, completing. What will be, will be. What's going to happen is going to happen before we officially move forward. But they're simultaneously happening. So, and when I saw this, and it's also with Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, there was this whole Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury, oh my, which is like lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So there's this point about, and then I heard a menacing, quote, Jack in the Box. So when you're looking at this tip going to Pluto, the center images, it's like, boing, the box springs open. And as you all may know, I'm just going to bring myself back up here for a minute. As you all may know, a Jack in the Box, it represents a clown, a jester. It can represent, quote unquote, the devil. But it's a child's game where it was made of wood usually, or tin. It's decorative. You crank the handle. It's playing a song or music. And when it gets wound to a certain point, the top springs, the lid pops, and out comes the Jack in the Box. So its point is something or someone who startles, awakens, entertains. So it's someone or something who that surprises, startles, or entertains. That's what's going to happen with these energies. with this final eclipse, it's going to be like the Jack in the Box, wound to the point that it bursts, it pops open. And what does that do? It releases. And so this message that's very clear with these Sabian symbols that are associated with this chart, and I hope that I'm trying to stay as clear as possible because there's a lot here. So what I'm going to read to you is, as you're looking at the chart, I'm just going to give you quickly. So here's where the sun is. And so the degree, so the sun is at 5 degrees Scorpio. So the Sabian symbol is 6 degrees Scorpio. It says the gold rush tears men away from their native soil. The keynote is the passionate search for new values, which at any level promise a more abundant life. See, it's that promise of something good, greater, more, and what's required of us to find it, to become one with it. And it says the greatness of man is that he can always be greater. Likewise, at a national level, man's greed can more easily be aroused by whatever promises more wealth, more power, and ever greater achievements at all levels, spiritual as well as material. So the shadow element of everything we experience, of course, is greed. But the greatness of man is that we can always be more. We can always be better. Beyond this arousal of greed is the deep-seated desire to play a more important or spectacular role in one's society or community. Everyone searches for their purpose. Everybody wants to leave an indelible mark, wants their life to matter, to have purpose, to be able to look back at the end of your journey and know that somehow you have positively impacted the world that we live in and those around us and our loved ones. And that's the point in the messaging here. And they're saying, greed is the perverse intensification of the social sense, just as lust is the perverse intensification of the longing for love. Always at this Scorpio level, the yearning is for an ever more intense and all-absorbing union with a person or a community, a yearning which motivates a search for more effectual means to achieve as a total feeling experience as possible. So here we are, it motivates us to search, because it's that old saying, is this it? Is this, and from our own perspective or our own lives, is this it? There's got to be something more. Well, in order to achieve that more, we have to be in alignment with it. And the alignment is soul source connection. That is within us. That is innate. It is not external. It's not outside of us. It's not us, ego, mind, personality, running amok trying to find something. The gold rush. Because the gold is within. It's already present. We don't have to spend a lifetime digging for it outside of ourselves. It's about recognizing and realizing, remember the golden ticket. You have the golden ticket. The gold is within. And it is about this finding that in the new, recognizing that it's in the new. And so on this, where the sun is at that degree, it says this degree dramatizes the capacity in man to tear himself away from the known and the familiar. We have to tear ourselves away from the known and the familiar, gambling everything on a vision or dream, meaning we tear ourselves away from everything we know, the past, Piscean, patriarchal, 2,000 plus years of knowing, history, what we've been taught, our experience. we tear ourselves away from all of that for a greater opportunity, for the new, for the unknown. However, remember, in doing so, it's an inside job. It's not external. And they said the key word for this symbol, this degree, is avidity, extreme eagerness or enthusiasm. So that's where the sun is. Powerful degrees, powerful messages. Let me go back to the astrological chart for this, and we're going to come then to the moon and where she resides and that degree. And this, remember, it's the full moon lunar eclipse. Her degree sits then at 5 degrees Taurus, which is 6 degrees in the SABIAN symbol. And here we are talking about cantilever bridge across a deep gorge. So it's about the constructing of a cantilevered bridge across a deep gorge. Because see, it's, well, how do we get from the old to the new? And how that can be perceived as this daunting task or this monumental gorge, chasm. And so what's required? A cantilevered bridge. The keynote is the conquest of separativeness through group cooperation. So the conquest, overcoming the ego, mind, personality, the I, me aspect, through group cooperation, unity. The person who has suffered deprivation and loneliness can give new substance to his or her emotional life by participating in a collective project. All great evolutionary challenges imply the overcoming of basic difficulties. A step ahead must be taken, yet an abyss confronts evolving man. It is no longer a personal void, an open grave, that's another symbol, but a chasm that is an integral part of the land, air quotes, land, upon which man's evolution must proceed. See, the advance is a fait accompli. It's a done deal. It's happening. So the only thing we're navigating is the chasm between who we've been, where we've been, who we are, to who we're becoming, where we're going. A link must be built through the power of the collective mind of the group or the community at large on the basis of the legacy of the past. See, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We've talked about this so much. We don't throw out the divine masculine and denigrate the divine masculine. No. Matriarchal is about harmony and balance and, yes, justice. However, also equanimity, equality. It's all of these beautiful things. So it is to build upon the legacy of the past, to make a bridge over the canyon or the chasm. It's how we bridge things. It's how we operate the cautious advance. It's our ego, mind, personality, and the soul source connection coming into unity, coming into harmony. It is about our words, our actions, our inactions, our thoughts. It is about all of these. And it says in this process of substantiation, the man-made bridge built with collective skill gives substance to and demonstrates man's capacity to conquer obstacles and to achieve evolutionary continuity as well as expansion in space. So there's this beautiful messaging here about, it is about the continuity, it is about the continuation, building upon the past. However, blossoming, flowering, opening to the present moment of the future, of what's to come. And that's where the dead reckoning from last week comes in. We can't navigate a moving path forward. Imagine driving a vehicle or a bicycle or something, or walking, just simply walk forward while looking in a different direction. I've done that. I've bumped into somebody. I've bumped into a rack in a store, not with a vehicle. So the point, that's the truth. Because if we're looking to the past to know where we're going, we're obstructed, because then we can't see clearly. However, when our focus is on the present and forward, building upon the past, but releasing, being open, well, then our path is organic. It's natural. It naturally opens and flows. And we are one with it. We're not flowing against it. We're not distracted. We're not obstructed. We're one with it. So let us now go to, I'm going to bring up the chart again, just so you can see. So at that pinnacle point at the top is Pluto. And Pluto, and there's one more because it's Pluto, and then of course Saturn is last but not least, the great teacher Saturn. So here's Pluto. And this is that large aviary that we've been talking about. And so it says the enjoyment of spiritual values by the soul, able to familiarize itself with their implications. The enjoyment of spiritual values by the soul. See, it's about leading with your soul. It's about coming into resonance with your soul. And the actual familiarity and the joy and the value of that. And then again, it says one may speak here of clairaudience, meaning a capacity for being responsive to many inner voices. It's about seeing the unseen, connecting with the unseen so as to receive that joy, that greatness, that goodness. Last but not least is Saturn, and this is really where the juxtaposition of these energies, and I'm just going to bring myself back up here again, because remember, they said, this flowering beyond comprehension, the attainment of an optimum stage of development, and then this Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury, oh my, and a menacing jack-in-the-box. However, a menacing jack-in-the-box, depending on where you are, it's that old saying, we reap what we sow. Well, this is saying to us, Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury, oh my. And here's this court jester, this clown, the devil, that comes to surprise, startle, or entertain. Where are we in this spectrum of beginning, completion, and beginning? Meaning, great gifts, everything's a gift. Are you going to receive those things in a positive way based on where you've been going and the works you're doing and your alignment and so forth? Or is it like the partridge from last week, Jeremiah 17:10, where have you received things, have you gone about life in an illicit shadow aspect manner? And thereby, quote unquote, the riches that you have received through that, the entitlements, the amassing of identity and labels and goods and so forth, do they, like the partridge, are removed during your lifetime and rendered a fool? So you can see where this is. What they're saying to us is, depending on where you are on the spectrum of how you've gone about life, divine neutrality, it's neutral, no judgment, that's the experience you're going to receive as we begin. Because the old is falling, it's got to be dealt with, it's got to be transmuted. And we can see this on the world stage. We can see this in our public, you turn on the news channel, read a newspaper, you can see exactly what this is talking about. One is collapsing, the other is arriving and bringing about, flowering. And where are we? Where are you on that spectrum? So here's Saturn. That's teeing all this up because this one is just, you can't make it up if you tried. So here's the chart again. And you'll see Saturn sitting just off to the left. at 0, it's kind of top left, and you see, and that's a vital degree. Remember the 29th degree, the 0, the 0 degree, those are very powerful degrees. And this is Saturn. This is the great teacher. And the great teacher is saying, in a crowded marketplace, farmers and middlemen display a great variety of products. The keynote for this is the process of commingling and interchange, which at all levels demonstrates the health of a community. So this can be about our family, our nucleus, our family, our relationships, our villages and towns, our cities, our nations, our institutions, our businesses. And it says, in any 12-fold division of a complete cycle, for instance, the 12 zodiacal signs and the 12 houses of a birth chart, the 12th section often has been given a negative significance. It can refer to oppressive conditions as it represents a closing of accounts, air quotes, a final evaluation of the harvest of the cycle. To be clear, the harvest of the cycle is the Piscean era, the divine masculine, the patriarchal. So this is a final evaluation of the harvest of the cycle. A very bad harvest may lead to bankruptcy. A premature revolt may bring the rebel to jail. The dissolute may end in a hospital. In this section of the cycle, a man reaps what he has sown. But it may also be honors, social prestige, the interests of well-managed wealth. So what we are going to experience individually and collectively is the final evaluation of that era. And our individual experiences, creations, manifestations, and so forth, choices, judgments, and are they, quote unquote, positive or negative? It's divine and neutral, but you get the point. In this 24th scene, doubles, cycles of 12, it's a 24, it's doubles. In this 24th scene, what is stressed is the coming together in a final experience of community, of all factors previously experienced. This means constructive interaction and an interchange of the products of social activity. So it's an interaction, it's an exchange, it's an interchange. In a practical sense, this symbol, whenever it is found, emphasizes that the time has come to take full advantage of the social opportunities to bargain and to trade. Not ego, mind, personality, barter and trade and negotiate and delay and obstruct. No. It is to the higher, remember, the higher calling is at hand. This higher octave is at hand. So it's about coming into unity with one another, with yourself, so as to take full advantage of the opportunities. The last piece says, in this first stage of the process related to the 67th fivefold sequence of symbols, that's very wordy, don't worry about it, it refers to all that can be gained from social interplay, and especially in the broadest sense of the word, commerce. Commerce in the sense of what we exchange, not commerce as in what we, products and going to the grocery store and things of that nature. Yes, that applies, but commerce means here what we exchange with others, the commerce that we exchange with ourselves, because that's a product. It's the product. It's the product from which all other commerce products emanate. Governments are a representation of its people, of its leaders, businesses, families. That is the commerce we're talking about. Because behind all of these are people, souls. So this is both where that juxtaposition of our main theme here, I'm going to bring it up again really quickly. Adventure awaits. Christmas, anyone? and the juxtaposition of Christmas against the flowering of a pink peonies, of summer, the sun, not winter, where everything lies dormant, and yet things are being germinated, renewed, rebirth, renewal, flowering. That is what this time and the astrological energies and the Sabian symbols are speaking to. And because the third thing the unseen said is, in quotes, a chilling effect on, and then I heard national affairs. And then right behind that was nationalism, nationalists. See this dividing, this demonizing. It's very patriarchal. Oh, I'm a nationalist. That is different than having pride in your nation. Being a nationalist means it's excluding others. It's marginalizing and minimizing and oppressing and suppressing, because somehow what you're saying from a nationalism or a nationalist standpoint is that you're better than others. And clearly, divine feminine, matriarchal, this unity, it's about unity. The key word is unity, and thus our mantra, unity. I am one with source. That is the power and the truth of the current messaging. And current meaning ongoing, present, ongoing. This message of unity and the chilling effect of nationalism and nationalists, that's patriarchal. It's crumbling. It's dying to be reborn. Get that? Did y'all get that? It's dying to be reborn. And it's dying to be reborn. Because nativism, nationalism, and being a nationalist. No, I have to remember to talk. I'm shaking in my head. No, it's about unity. It is about seeing. And just stop and think about the beauty of a world of that form of existence, where you come together as nations and companies and peoples and cities and governments and institutions for we the people, the greater good of humanity. The gold, to mine the gold within. It's priceless. So we move forward then with hexagram 53. And hexagram 53 is development, flower. The hexagram, what's interesting about that is in the hexagram 25, which the number 25 is today, which is innocence. Its action is to open. Its hidden influence is 53, development, flower. Its underlying cause is to pushing upward, to ascend. And one of these, this is from Carrie Hone from cafeausoul.com, who I quote often. And on hexagram 25 it is, if you don't know what cannot be done, you will accomplish great things. See, again, when we make space for the new, when we don't stop or allow our ego, mind, personality to control, we build that bridge, that suspension bridge, or that cantilevered bridge across the chasm. Olivia's saying, look at all the strikes that have been going on, actors, writers, car makers. Exactly, because again, there's a chilling effect on these types of affairs, actions, because the people, because the greed, remember, going back to that Sabian symbol, the shadow element of the patriarchal experience is greed, power, control. And so right on time, the people awaken, and it is a message. It is not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. However, it is for leaders world leaders, industry leaders, leaders of entities and businesses, institutions. Wake up. Wake up, because the people are waking up. The people are going from the enslaved devil card to the liberation of the lovers card. Lovers, in unity, in harmony, in balance with one another. We, humanity, the soul, we want to work, we want to be in harmony and union. We want that for our individual selves. It is the present future. It is the new year. Unity. Remember, 8 is a unity year. So we have hexagram 53, development, flower. Its hidden influence is before completion, prepare. See, before it ends, prepare. Because as it ends, it begins. So as it's completely crumbling, we prepare. Stay focused on the present future. Stay focused on the present. Its underlining clause, hexagram 53, is propriety, subordinate. Subordinate meaning to soul, the divine feminine. Subordinate your ego, mind, personality to the will of your soul source connection. That ensures harmony, humility, authenticity, grace, goodness. And this is where the quote from last week, and I've kept it, I'm going to bring these up really quickly. It talks about the fact, a man will be imprisoned in a room with a door that is unlocked and opens inwards, as long as it does not occur to him to pull rather than to push. Ludwig Wittgenstein. So stop pushing, stop fighting. That's ego, mind, personality. Pull. Zhejiang, which is development, shows the gradual development of how, and I took offense with this at first. Let me just, it says it's of how a woman follows a man to become his wife. And I was a little about, whoa. And then I had to calm myself down. I'm like, this is not 1950s McCall, ladies' home journal and this whole patriarchal thing. And yet I was like, see, that was judgment. And so I was like, Dearjames, you're in judgment. Step back. And as I did that, what I came to see in this was, it's the development of how the divine feminine follows the divine masculine to be in union and harmony. Well, the divine feminine is following the divine masculine. Aquarian age follows patriarchal, Piscean, patriarchal, to become in union. The hidden influence of before completion reveals how all developments must be allowed the time and patience necessary for the course to complete itself in a natural way. See, these are the symbols. This is what's happening at this eclipse and the Sabian symbols that are in association with that. It reveals how all developments must be allowed the time and patience, the time and space and patience necessary for the course to complete itself in a natural way. Welcome, Elizabeth. And in the image of a tree, which grows slowly, something rises from a seed or blueprint within. Because contained in the seed is the tree. Contained in the tree is the seed. We too are endowed with Te, or the knowledge within that guides our dreams and holds the design of who we are growing to become, coming to be real. It's about who we're becoming, not who we've been. We're flowing, we move, we evolve, we transcend. The underlying cause of propriety reflected subordinating the will or being placed too quickly in an unnatural situation where you must catch up. See, this is about divine timing. It's about subordinating to the will of the soul, your soul source connection, so that everything happens in a natural form, time, rhythm, and thereby we're not placed in a place where we have to hurry up to catch up. That means we're outside of ourselves. Gradual development shows the opposite as a time of moving forward step by step or patiently waiting for something to unfold. This hexagram has emphasis on living from the inside out rather than the outside in. Like a tree nourished by the sun and rain, we may look to the outer world for elements that nourish us, but we do not look to others for answers about who we are. This information is sacred to our Te, or internal blueprint. It's always an inside job. It's always to go within, to find yourself, meaning your soul self, not what your ego, mind, personality tells you. Yes, we need a healthy ego, mind, personality associated with the divine masculine, mental, mind. Yes, however, and what's required for the greatest outcome for all, for yourself and for everyone, is internal, soul source connection. We don't push ourselves into the world. We pull from the core of our inspired center and permeate our beingness into the world. It exudes, it comes from within and just emanates outwardly. We don't have to say a word. A picture speaks 1,000 words. We don't have to say a word for people to receive that radiance, who we are, our divine selves. And let me just bring up this quote because it's timely. I love this for the imagery of the unity and everything. It says, success comes when you pull your nature forward without pushing yourself into the world. See, there's a pulling yourself from within, up from your bootstrings, from within, outward. And notice little I chose this image, the unseen, whereas I knew that it needed to be something of innocence, something that was pure and good. And then you see them, these animals in these little caboose carriages. Unity. They represent unity. There are some outside of that looking to catch the next cart, the next car. You see the little monkey and the turtle on the foreground. And so there's this being pulled, and a children's wagon, someone gets in or you put things in it and you pull it. Adults use it in gardening and it forms, it's this childlike knowing that you are one with each other, you're in unity, and we are going places, we're going somewhere. That's what this image speaks to. And this hexagram is speaking to this. This information is sacred to our blueprint. We don't push ourselves, we pull. There is a need for a gentle, adaptable, and penetrating approach, just as a tree spreads its arms, displaying its rich foliage, saying, "This is who I am." See, the trees speak to us. Nature speaks to us. People speak to us. It's all energy. And so the messaging here is, in this culmination point and this new beginning, the present moment, we all individually and collectively are going to experience the harvest of this era that we have been in, the patriarchal Piscean experience. As we pull ourselves forward from the inside out. We're not pushing our way there. We're not pushing and shoving and stampeding, and we're pulling with one another, pulling together, unity, coming together. That is the divine message. Just want to bring in, Elizabeth is saying, it has been a wonderful journey to learn to ride the energies and not force anyone or anything. So much abundance. Exactly, because when we're one with the flow, it is effortless, it is joyous, it is inspiring. and it reminds us of our true nature. It's limitless. It is continually flowering and evolving, ascending, moving forward. We only need to be in the flow with it, be in union, in unity with it. And then there's a lot less drama going on in the world. As we continue, a commitment to endurance and the elimination of the monkey mind is required. Remember the monkey that was in the foreground? It's to eliminate the monkey mind so that the purity of the monkey gets in one of the traveling carts. We must quiet its tendency, talking about the monkey mind, we must quiet its tendency towards survival, always looking for threats and what is wrong in the environment. Instead, we wake up in each and every moment, balanced in the knowledge that we are living from the inside out. By honoring who we are, life celebrates our arrival. The lines of this hexagram refer to the geese, which symbolize a connection between our organic and spiritual nature, demonstrated in grace and dignity. We have all of these bird analogies: the great aviary, the eagle. We have all of this higher mind, this connection to source, to spirit. All of this calling us. Wake up. Wake up. It's never too late to wake up. The geese, they walk on land, float in water, and soar through the sky, revealing how following instinct and relying on surrounding elements to uplift us, we always arrive exactly where we need to be. And notice these three elements of the geese, the Trinity. And they've been talking about where heart, mind, and soul, eagle mind, personality, heart, and soul, like the rotary engine we've talked about before, the Mazda rotary engine, it's in unity, it's in harmony. It's not pistons going up and down, up and down, up and down. It operates in harmony, in union. This hexagram can show a relationship with the need to allow for patience so that one or the other has time. And Brigitte mentioned this last week about others. And so that one or the other has time to catch up to the other's feelings. See, it's about allowing, stay focused, allow people their journey, their time. Another car will be coming, the car that the animals are in will be coming. And they can get in and enjoy the ride to the new, pulling themselves up and along and coming together when it's time, when they're ready. That is the beauty of this. The fourth thing that the unseen said was blazing-blaze. So blazing a trail to the beyond. So the unseen, we are blazing a trail to the beyond. And they're saying to us, blaze a trail to the beyond. Be the present future. Be the higher mind. Be the higher octave. Be in harmony and unity and oneness with yourself and with source. That's where the gold lies. That's where you will mine the gold. That is where you will find the gold. That is the golden ticket. Here it is, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. New adventure awaits. And look how long, look at that truth. And then they say to us, it's almost 2 years later that we've been on the Weekly Wisdom and Insights, this empowered journey, this preparing. And we've been using this image for some time. And look, adventure awaits. New adventure awaits. And yet that's the powerful message and the main theme for today's show. That exact thing. Last but not least, from the unseen, they said, it's number 5, so it's about change. And they said, come out wherever you are. And I'm going to post this in the Facebook comments so you can see it. It's from The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy from Kansas has landed in Munchkinland. And in the song, the lyrics, they say, a miracle occurred. This arriving in the new, this in the beyond, a miracle occurs. And it's to remember, you are the miracle. We are the miracle. Soul source connection is the miracle. It is what we have been waiting for millennia. And here it is, and here we are, and it's time. It is that point of influence, of aspect. So coming to be real means, first and foremost, we got to be real with ourselves and others. First and foremost, we got to get on the new train, because remember, we're in the part of harvest of the previous era. So that train has come in and docked, and it's stationed. It's done. It's complete. And what we're seeing on a world stage and in our individual lives and collective lives and experiences is the harvest of that time. And I would be remiss if I didn't, from a LinkedIn business perspective, institutions, governments, take stock of where you are. Take stock of who you are. Listen to the people. They are speaking to you loud and clear, because the soul is speaking so loudly to say, new era, new way, new me, new you, new us, unity, unity, unity. It is not a battle royale between forces. It is an opportunity and challenge to unify forces. That's this moment, that's the new, and that is this new year. So, oh my gosh, to everyone listening and participating, start off the new year. Start off this new year in unity with yourself, first and foremost, with yourself. Unify your parts, your pieces, your ego, mind, personality with your soul, source connection. Unify. And then walk with grace, stay out of judgment, and continue to flower, 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 bloom, bloom, bloom. I love you all so much. I hope you can feel the energy coming through me, because I am so happy and excited for us, because this is a world I really want to live in. And I look forward to seeing all of you right there with me. So I love you all. We will see, next week is 11-1. It's 1117. And so that has a lot to do with gateways and messaging and where we're going. So by all means, be well, be kind, and be nourished. Until then, until next week, I'll see you then.